इस वीडियो लेक्चर में हम अलीगढ़ मूवमेंट के बारे में पढ़ेंगे जो सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान ने शुरू किया था। सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान 17 अक्टूबर 1817 को दिल्ली में पैदा हुआ और 27 मार्च 1898 को अलीगढ़ में वो वफ़ात पा गया था। Introduction to Sir Syed. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was born in 1817 in Delhi. After early education, he joined East India Company in 1835 as a sub-clerk in the Court of Law. In 1846, he promoted to Chief Judge, and during the War of Independence 1857, he was in Bijnor, where he saved British women and children, putting himself into the risk. Owing to this service, Sir Syed was asked to work as a governor, but he refused because he wanted to serve the Muslims. बैकग्राउंड में हम आते हैं। After the War of Independence, the Muslims were the target of the revengeful activities of the British government, and the Hindus got an opportunity to make the British believe that the Muslims were a threat to the British rule. As a result, national recognition of the Muslims was in severe danger. At that crucial time, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the first leader to come forward and try to rescue the national pride of the Muslims. He started Aligarh movement. 1857 की जंग आज़ादी की नाकामी से बरसग़ीर के मुसलमानों पर बाकी अक़वाम की बनिस्बत ज़्यादा बुरा और शदीद असर पड़ा, क्योंकि एक तरफ तो अंग्रेज़ इन्हें अपना सबसे बड़ा मुखालिफ करार देते थे, और दूसरी तरफ अगर हम बात करें हिंदुओं की, तो हिंदू कम्युनिटी अपनी वफ़ादारियाँ तब्दील करके अंग्रेज़ी अमलदारी से फ़वाइद हासिल करने लगे थे। हिंदू जो थे इंडिया में जल्द ही तिजारत और सनत पर हावी हो गए थे, और मुसलमानों को मज़ीद एक सदी जो थी वो पीछे धकेल दिया गया था। इस दौरान सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान वो अजीम रहनुमा थे जिन्होंने बरसग़ीर के बदलते हुए हालात का बग़ौर जायज़ा लिया और नहायत तदब्बर और फ़हम व फ़रासत से काम लेकर एक तबाहशुदा मुआशरे के लिए नई ज़िंदगी का सामान पैदा किया था। सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान ने मुसलमानों में नई ज़िंदगी के आगाज़ के लिए 3 तरह से कोशिशें उन्होंने की थी, जिसमें हुकूमत और मुसलमान ख़ास तौर पर यानी ब्रिटिश और मुस्लिम जो थे इंडिया में, उनके दरमियान जो गैप पैदा हो गया था 1857 की वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद, उनके दरमियान एतमाद की फ़िज़ा जो है वो बहाली के लिए उन्होंने कोशिशें की, और मुसलमानों को जदीद उलूम और अंग्रेज़ी ज़ुबान सीखने की भी सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान ने तरग़ीब दिया था। और इसके साथ साथ जो एहतिजाजी सियासत से जो है उन्होंने मुसलमानों को कहा था कि आप उनसे गुरेज़ करें। Objectives of Aligarh movement. Aligarh movement was established to fulfill the following targets. Number 1, to build confidence between the government and the Muslims, to persuade the Muslims to acquire modern knowledge and English language, to hold back the Muslims from the politics. Educational services of Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted the Muslim nation to be educated to keep pace with the modern advancement. He was of the opinion that honor of the nation could be achieved only by education. He advised the Muslims to get the most modern Western education. He established educational institutions for the Muslim youth and guided them both theoretically and practically. सर सैयद ने इल्मी खिदमात के साथ साथ अमली तौर पर भी ऐसी कोशिशें की कि मुसलमानों में जदीद उलूम सीखने का शौक़ पैदा हो, ताकि वो तरक्की और कामयाबी से हमकिनार हो सके। इस मकसद के लिए उन्होंने जो इक़दामात किए इनमें से चंद अहम दर्ज झेल है, जिसमें उन्होंने मुरादाबाद में 1859 में एक स्कूल का क़याम किया था। ये एक पर्शियन स्कूल था। उसके बाद गाज़ीपुर के मकाम पर उन्होंने विक्टोरिया स्कूल के नाम से 1862 में एक इदारा कायम किया। Scientific Society. Sir Syed established a unique institution, Scientific Society, in Ghazipur in 1863. The headquarters of this society were shifted to Aligarh in 1876. The purpose of its establishment was to acquire the books in other languages and translate them in Urdu. Sir Syed stressed upon the need for education in English language so that the Muslim generation could learn the Western or modern knowledge as soon as possible. Establishment of Muhammadan Anglo-Oriental School at Aligarh. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan set up MAO school in Aligarh in 1875. Later on, in 1877, it was upgraded to college. This institution became Muslim University Aligarh in 1920. Mohammedan Educational Conference. Sir Syed established another organization in 1886 to provide funds to fulfill the requirements of Aligarh movement. This organization served the Muslim community in all the fields, that is social, political, and religious. The main aim was to inspire the Muslims to work in the field of education. It was this movement that laid the foundations of All India Muslim League in Dhaka in 1906 in its annual meeting. Social and economic services of Aligarh movement. The suppressed and ruined community became dynamic. Lost glory. Sir Syed Ahmad guided the Muslims on every level to regain their lost glory. Risale Asbab Baghawat Hind. After the War of Independence 1857, he wrote Risale Asbab Baghawat Hind, in which he described the actual reasons behind this war. Loyal Mohammedans of India. Sir Syed wrote this book to make the British aware of the services of the Muslims. Through this book, he got sensible behavior of the British for the Muslims of India. Government jobs for the Muslims. As a result of Sir Syed's campaign, the Muslims of India got remarkable jobs in government sector on a large scale. Political services of Aligarh movement. Sir Syed advised the Muslims to remain away from politics, and he himself took important steps to educate the Muslims for their socio-economic restoration so that they might acquire the status equivalent to that of Hindus. He was of the view that education is the only weapon to keep pace with model advancement. Two nation theory. He was no doubt in that favor of Hindu Muslim unity in the beginning, but after Urdu Hindi controversy, he came to know the nature of the Hindu nation. Then, then, for the first time in the history, he used the word nation for the Muslim in 1867. So we can say he was the founder of two nation theory in subcontinent. On the basis of two nation theory, Sir Syed asked for special safeguards for the Muslims in different fields, special seats for the Muslims in the local council. सर सैयद अहमद ख़ान ने शुरू में माशरे की इस्लाह और तालीम की तरक्की के लिए जो भी कोशिशें की वो बरसग़ीर के तमाम बाशिंदों के लिए थी। वो हिंदू मुस्लिम इत्तेहाद के ज़बरदस्त हामी थे। उन्होंने मुसलमानों को कभी भी अलग कौम न समझा। आहिस्ता आहिस्ता हिंदुओं की तंग नज़री को देखते हुए उन्हें ये एहसास हुआ कि हिंदू और मुसलमान दो अलग कौमें हैं जो कभी भी इकट्ठी नहीं रह सकती। और ये बात हिंदी उर्दू कंट्रोवर्सी का जो मसला सामने आया उसके बाद ये वाज़ेह हो गया था कि ये दो कौमें कभी भी एक ही जगह पर इकट्ठे नहीं रह सकती। एडवाइस टू अवॉइड पॉलिटिक्स. After the War of 1857, he advised the Muslims to remain away from politics until they would become strong in education. Urdu Hindi controversy. After the Urdu Hindi controversy in Banaras, Sir Syed stood the mentality of the Hindus and he pressurized the British to avoid replacing Urdu with Hindi. Behavior towards Indian National Congress. Sir Syed forbade the Muslims to join the Indian National Congress founded by Alan Octavian Hume in 1885, as he could understand the objectives of this party. Political reforms. He restrained the Muslims from joining Congress and struggled for special seat of the Muslims in local council. He also started a movement against the open competitive exams to avoid the monopoly of the Hindus.